Good morning, Big Swear, road2roota.com with your morning horn of Zeese, your sip of coffee. I thought I'd go over some zero hedge stuff as it relates to the Road to Roota. But first, I saw a news clipping of said gold is broken out of some resistance, and so I click on silver, and yeah, it went up. And they tried to slam it down, and it went up. It's all run out of computer programs in the basement of the U.S. Treasury. All of it. There is no free market in the metals. There's no free market at anything anymore, truthfully. I'd say the closest thing to a free market is the cryptocurrencies, although those are massively manipulated by hedge funds and banksters like Jamie Dimon trying to squeeze extra money out by slamming these little tiny dinky tokens down and then pulling them up and selling off and then slamming them down. There is no regulation at all in the cryptocurrencies, so completely legal. People have asked me what the COMEX introduction of Bitcoin futures means. I don't know, and truthfully, it might be the Achilles heel of the cabal to see, because there's two different things going on there. Unless there's a deliverable physical Bitcoin from that contract where you can, take delivery of Bitcoin. I don't think it is. I think it's purely a fictional game that they're playing over there. So probably would have no meaning. And if it did keep the price down, I would imagine everybody on the Bitcoin world would be buying, because we want lower prices to buy more Bitcoin. Yeah, it might blow up in their face. They don't understand the cryptocurrencies and probably never will. The COMEX will at some point be exposed for the criminality that is involved there. But right now, clearly, as you can see, every time silver is about to move up, they take a slam down, and then they slam it up, and then they slam it down. It's been the same thing for how long? And when you have massive concentration, like Ted Butler says, massive concentration does that. It gives you the ability to rig the markets up and down. And that's exactly what the COMEX and the CFTC cover for. That's their job, is to maintain stable markets. That's the whole reason all these markets are being rigged. Maintain stable markets with an unbacked fiat system. And that's dying on the vine. So let's see what's happening in the world. Zimbabwe President Mugabe resigns. That's that's an open example of hyperinflation, the Zimbabwe monetary situation. Completely would have been fixed with the cryptocurrencies had they adopted Bitcoin or Litecoin, Monero, any of the good cryptocurrencies. They could have bypassed all this pain, and those in Zimbabwe that did buy into the cryptocurrencies and do have some are absolutely loving life that they did it. Same with Greece, same with anywhere else that they're going to implode the monetary system. You're going to want to have cryptos. Same with the U.S. At some point, the same thing's going to happen in the U.S. You're going to want to have cryptos. That's a fact of life. I absolutely believe that that is the plan of the good guys, to move us into a crypto system. And obviously they're not stopping it. And we're going to very soon see very strong laws against anything untoward in the crypto sphere. As in, if anybody's caught trying to hack, they get 50 years in prison. Things like that. We need an honest monetary system going forward, and we're going to get it by hook or by crook. All right, Chinese online lenders are crashing after credit crackdown. Once again, the U.S. equity market investors left holding the bag. When will they ever learn? Yeah, the old system is dying. They can yell all they want that everything's fine, and we got no inflation going on because they lie about the numbers. We have no unemployment because they lie about the numbers. It's all a facade. Every stock market, bond market, U.S. dollar is all rigged by computer programs, written by this guy right here, Mr. Irrational Exuberance himself, Alan Greenspan. Alan Green, if you go back to the Road to Roota documents, it shows very clearly, in my mind, I've proven it 100 times, that Alan Greenspan was the world's best financial computer programmer in the 1960s and 70s. Nobody knew that about him. But he had an office, and then he had a secret room right next to it with all his computer runs and a single guy, Rocky from the cartoon or the comic book, running his computer programs. And that's why he was put in charge of the Council of Economic Advisors in the 1970s. That's why he was put in charge of the Fed. It's all been rigged via computers. I did click on this article. What if the exuberance is irrational? And then hold on to your hats. Goldman guy said that we have rational exuberance now in the S&P. Insane. It's not rational exuberance. It is market rigging. It is market rigging. Green shoots are everywhere because they're painted into the picture via computer programs. The insanity continues. I do think the takedown will happen in 2018. At least a big part of it. Again, they're trying to build the crypto economy right next to the old dying economy. So they're gonna rig silver and gold a little longer. Don't get ready for $600-700 silver until sometime late 2018, maybe 2019, because they need time for the old system, the new system to get in place, get more entrenched, which it is. Obviously, there's so many people coming to the cryptos, and personal experience, I've never had so many people sign up for the Road to Roota private road. As soon as I posted the 15 cryptocurrencies and companies, crypto tokens with the companies that I've studied over the past 3 years, boom, absolutely, all kinds of people interested in that topic because they see the world is changing. They know something's wrong with the old world. Even the gold bugs. I'm having a talk with, I think it's Bill Holter and Jim Sinclair and maybe Dave Kranzler and possibly Cliff High on Saturday. Not sure if Cliff's going to make it, but I'm definitely going to talk to them. They're definitely stuck in the old paradigm of gold and only gold can save our souls. Well, I don't think so. I think the cryptos can save our souls, and I think that's the plan. So yeah, it should be an interesting discussion, 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 with Cliff. But if I have Cliff on my side, that's like 3-on-30. Because I mean, if there's any technical computer related questions that they have, Cliff can answer those no problem for them. Anyway, I don't think it'll be a technical question. I think it'll be a more philosophical question, and me countering their arguments of why the cryptocurrencies won't work. Because I've heard them all. I've heard all the arguments, and very easily countered. And it's usually from people who don't do their homework. I mean, these guys, Bill Holter and Jim Sinclair, know everything about the past, everything about monetary history, but they haven't studied the future and where the future is going. That's the most important thing. Bitcoin changed everything. This time it's different. Absolutely, it is different. And you can stay on the sidelines like they have and miss out and sit there and watch the system crumble without offering any solution at all, in my opinion. Backing a currency will not do anything to the mismatch of money. Right now, all the bad guys have the money and the bad guys have the gold. Absolutely. There's trillions of dollars hidden away in black pools. So if you back a currency with gold, it doesn't fix that problem. It doesn't do anything. The derivative bomb can't go off if you fix it. So yes, the market rigging has to end, and it all has to come down. And I'm betting that the cryptos will be there standing up, saying, "Hey, here's some truth and honesty in a system that's being built right here. Why not just move over here?" And that's what a lot of people are doing right now. You should be doing it too. Hopefully, you have. If you've been listening to me for long enough, you've done it 3 years ago, and you're still doing it. And the new people, dive in, learn the cryptos, go onto YouTube, ask any question you have about cryptocurrencies, tokens of blockchain companies, because it's all going to be part of the mix. Foundation for a rebound. Gold jumps above key technical levels on heavy volume. Again, all computer programs traded. Right now, I think it's out of the basement of the U.S. Treasury. There's a huge computer trading floor. You don't need that big. All you need is Steve Mnuchin, the ex-head of Goldman Sachs IT department, now our Treasury Secretary, clicking a mouse. Bang. Covers every asset across every market, controls it with a click of a mouse. It was already programmed in. Click. Okay. You want gold to go to 1,200? Click. You want gold to go to 800? Click. You want gold to go to 0? Click. It's that easy. When you have unlimited derivatives, yes, people could take possession of their gold, maybe. The comics has rules against that, actually. If they don't want to give you the gold on delivery on demand, they don't have to. They can cash settle. So the game continues, but the whole idea, the Treasury is not going to click gold down to zero because they thrive in the even running of the system. And they don't want to crash gold, and they don't want gold to rise. They want the even flow, and I don't think they even think gold is very important anymore, truthfully. Anyway, moving on. Existing home sales dropped year over year for second straight month. Dun, dun, dun. If you listen to Martin Armstrong, the housing, historical housing valuation is going to fall until 2035. It never should have been so high. Truthfully, the only reason that house prices have risen so much is they're giving away free money. Low interest rates, of course. You can buy as many houses as you want. As soon as the banks crash or have to raise their interest rates like 10, 20, 30%, then you have a different deal. Then you have nobody available to buy houses unless you have cash to buy them. So yeah, I do expect that to happen. Although I don't expect interest rates to rise. With the amount of manipulation that can be injected, I think they'll just keep it as low as possible. The cryptos will keep going crazy like they are, and pretty soon everybody's going to question the value of the U.S. dollar. And it'll be obvious that the old system is dying and a new system is being born. Will it take a year? Will it take 5 years? Will it take 10 years? I don't know. But I'm not going to wait around for it. I'm moving over here to this new economy. All right. Let's see. Positive NAFTA news. Does anybody even care about NAFTA anymore? When this system falls apart and the truth is known about the extent of the manipulation of markets and the rigging of pretty much everything, people will not trade with the U.S. anymore. There won't be any need for NAFTA because no one would trade with us. I do think that at that point we do bring back all the military from around the world, put them on our borders, and we'll go it alone for a while. That was always the idea. That's why we hide all our natural resources in the ground. Lindsey Williams talked about the massive oil find off Gull Island in the late 60s. Huge, like enough for 100 years for the United States. They found it, they capped it, and it's waiting there. As long as the rest of the world uses unbacked fiat U.S. dollars that we print out of nothing, we'll keep this game going. And that's why we lock up all the gold in the Grand Canyon. Massive, billions and billions and billions of ounces, according to the front page of the Wall Street Journal, or the New York Times back in 1912. And I've done massive amount of research on that. All kinds of court cases that I've dug up. It is there. It is still sitting there. Not all of it. Some has been pulled out. But also Chocolate Mountain. Chocolate Mountain in the 90s, Dianne Feinstein was in charge of locking that up. Huge gold find in Chocolate Mountain. And now it's a military base and a desert wildlife preserve. Just like millions of acres. Dianne Feinstein has been key in locking up natural resources within California. Huge gold-rich country. And it'll be interesting if she's a good guy or a bad guy. I do think from her conversation with Bart Chilton about the rigging of gold and silver back when Bart Chilton first came on, I read the transcript of that, of an interview with Bart when he talked about he spent 3 hours in Dianne Feinstein's office. She was the only one really who knew about the rigging and why it was being done. And she told Bart exactly what was going on. And then she's been in charge of locking up all these natural resources within California. I think it's 41% of California's land is owned by the federal government now. Crazy. So government, California is saying, oh, screw the United States, we're going to secede from the Union. Yeah, you could do that, but you only have, 59% of your land because 41% is owned by the federal government. And, they have an army and you have a National Guard. We'll see what happens. So the sexual harassment, like I said, it's gonna come out and it's gonna be deeper and deeper and deeper. I hear there's 4,000 sealed indictments now, and it's not just the child trafficking and pedophilia, all that. It is treasonous acts of selling secrets, you name it. The book is coming down on all of them, and the day that these are unsealed and these people are rounded up, lots of rumors going around about the CIA being invaded and people taken out of the deep state. So I don't know if that's true, but you're going to see a lot of this sexual harassment stuff, and then it's going to get into the pedophilia, and then it's going to get into the really dark stuff. That's when the indictments come down. So hang on. I don't know how long it'll be. Clearly, I mean, this latest guy has been Democratic Congressman John Conyers. You notice it's a couple Democrats, so they can't just blame Trump and the Republicans. The Democrats are knee-deep in this too, both sides of the same coin. And they're going to be taken down. This is the bad guys. The good guys are taking down the bad guys. And hopefully everybody can see that by now. There's Goldman's rational exuberance. That's just so funny. Crazy. Journalist Sarah Carter slams Department of Justice attempt to discredit FBI informant and Stonewall Uranium One investigation. The informant had everything on the bribery and the criminality within the Clinton administration, and it is knee-deep with the Clinton Foundation, the Obama administration, the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. She was running a crime operation, and they're all going down. I think Donna Brazile needs to go with them. She's trying to distance herself, but clearly she interfered with a true and fair U.S. election when she gave the questions to a town hall meeting to Hillary Clinton prior to the town hall meeting. I mean, how is that not illegally interfering with the election process in the United States? Of course, Donna Brazile will never talk about that. The only time she answered a question on it, she said, "I'm a Christian woman. And I take that as an insult to Christian women everywhere." I'm like, what are you talking about? Insane. And that just shows how depraved these people are. They can fall back on being Christian and being a woman as to why this illegal act, I should never be accused of anything at all. Ridiculous. Let's see, anything else exciting? A lot going on out there. Again, the whistleblower, apparently they've tried to take him out 6 times now, but he's being well protected. I think he testified on Monday, and we will see what happens. I think these indictments are going to come down pretty soon, I would say before the end of the year. I'm hoping. And the question is, will Steve Mnuchin continue to rig the markets to keep everything stable? Remember, markets aren't freely traded. They haven't been since the introduction of the computer programs in the 1960s by Alan Greenspan and his boss, Arthur Burns, the head of the Federal Reserve back then. And if you don't believe me about Greenspan, go look, just type Greenspan in the Road to Roota search section. You'll find everything you need to know about him being a computer expert. He blamed himself for Y2K because he only used 2 digits for the year instead of 4. Absolutely, I think he was absolutely deeply involved with the early days of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. That was his job. He worked for the Fed, and he was a computer expert, and his job was money and rigging the system and finding its way out of the old system and into something new. That's what Roota's trying to do. Roota's trying to save humanity. So a lot more about that. Again, if you want to join the Road to Roota, get the private road, 15 cryptos, must-have cryptos. A lot of these cryptos will go away in the next downturn because there's a lot of criminality going on. Something like BitConnect won't be around, but I don't think it'll be around past the end of the year. But if they don't file or fix the problem with their business license in the UK, I think it's the 10th, January 10th, that they're shut down, and all their assets, everything they hold, including the investors' accounts, get turned over to the Queen of England. Interesting, huh? So it might not fail until the Queen of England gets her share. Anyway, this is Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. We'll talk to you later.